We gave us like a 2-hour spot. So, okay,
That's
we're live now, Missy, by the way. Okay. Hey, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast. I'm really excited about my guest tonight. It's been a while since she's been on. She's been traveling. She's been doing boots on the ground research into our current situation and what's going on in the world. And it's my good friend, Missy Hill. I wrote a blurb about it. I wrote tonight on the Typical Skeptic Podcast. We welcome back Missy Hill, paranormal researcher, gridworker, and intuitive investigator, known for connecting the dots between Earth's energy systems and real-world events. Missy brings her signature smorgasbord of insight tonight, breaking down the hidden patterns behind ley lines, stargates, atmospheric anomalies, and the energetic forces influencing our reality. She'll also talk about her experience meeting Robert the Doll while she was on a cruise. Are we witnessing random events or coordinated energetic shifts tied to something deeper? From the Bermuda Triangle to ocean anomalies to crystal skulls, aquatic mysteries, and frequency-based manipulation, this conversation dives into the unseen architecture shaping our world. Topics will cover Earth grids, ley lines, energy nodes, stargates, the Bermuda Triangle, ocean mysteries and aquatic phenomena, UFOs, crystal skulls, frequency manipulation and spiritual warfare, paranormal activity and high strangeness, real-time global events through energetic lens. And my guest bio, Missy Hill, is a paranormal researcher, gridworker, and intuitive investigator who explores the hidden energetic systems of Earth. Her work focuses on ley lines, frequency patterns, the unseen forces influencing both natural phenomena and global events. By combining observation, research, and intuitive insight, Missy connects high strangeness activities such as UFO sightings, atmospheric anomalies, and spiritual phenomena to a larger energetic framework. Her approach challenges conventional thinking and encourages audiences to question reality and recognize the deeper patterns at play. And with all that said, I'd like to give her a big warm welcome back to the show. Missy, thanks so much for coming back on. How are you?
I'm great, Rob. I mean, I still have a little bit of this cough, but weird stuff on the cruise when you're around a boat with a bunch of people, including like maybe even norovirus, which is like I'm not even going to say what that is, but this is Rob.
Oh, that's cool.
See the little version?
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, it's been crazy. Can you hear me now? Am I okay now?
It's cutting out for some reason. I don't know why, but like, and you just
I may end up moving. I may end up moving closer to the house, but I wanted to show you where I was. So if I have to move, I will. But you can hear me now, okay? Yeah, because we're actually camping. We're camping out. We had some issues with our air conditioning in the house and the refrigerator, so we're actually camping out. And there's been so much going on, so it's like, where do you start with all this? I mean, I guess what I'll do is I will start with Robert, because we were trying to get a show off the ground, and then you had things going on, I had things going on, was traveling. I mean, I was in Florida for almost a month. I didn't even expect that, and I went on one cruise, and then the second cruise was such a great deal that we decided to go on another one, so we were there to visit family. So that first cruise actually went down to Key West. And what was interesting about going to Key West, first of all, when I go down to Palm Beach area, which is North Palm Beach, was where I stay. That's where family lives. I'm not that far really from total lockdown.
Wait, Missy, you just cut out.
Okay, I'm going to move then. I'm going to just bring Robert. I'm going to bring Robert with me, and I'm going to move to a better location, because you see that I'm outside, and I'll show you the outdoors, but it's unfortunate. And probably because of the nature of some of this information that I want to share, it doesn't surprise me actually that I'm cutting out. It just surprised me. So, when we went down so what I was saying is, when we were in South Florida, from where as a pleasure about 10 minutes ago, and the plane was totally lost. Left on the cruise, I could actually see Mar-a-Lago from the backside. I could see it from the ocean side, and I got some pictures of it from there. Can you hear me here? This should be a good spot here.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay. So you were saying Mar-a-Lago's totally locked down, basically?
Yes, because of the war.
Wow.
I wasn't there anyway. Because when I was there before, I could actually feel what's going on grids, and I could tell you that he definitely was not there. So yeah, I didn't try to go. I had obstacles in the way of it. My Robert the doll, and the interesting thing is we think, oh, this is a haunted doll. You know, I actually got pictures of, because I asked permission. I didn't want to get too big into space and all this, so I didn't do it very good with the doll.
Whoa,
when we got off the ship, we had a.
You're cutting out really bad, Missy. Like real bad. It's like I can't even hear you. You're like freezing and cutting out really bad. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be annoying. It's not. It's not me. It's something with your connection. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. See how the house is, or am I okay here?
Oh, she cut out, guys, completely. Hopefully we get her back here in a second. So, how's everybody doing today? So hopefully everybody's good. And yeah, we got Drago Reed at 8 p.m. Eastern, so that should be a good show. So, I was hoping it would be a bunch of good shows tonight for you guys. I know Missy has some really good information to come out with. So, I don't know why they're messing with her. Her internet's so bad. Am I still there? Yeah, I'm here. Okay. All right. She's here now. Let's see if this is better. Missy, can you hear it? Man, they're really messing with your connection. I wonder what the hell's going on. Like, it's her screen's just black. Can you guys see anything? I can't see anything. It's the screen is just totally black. Maybe if I remove her from the studio or something, or bring her back, like she's got a bad connection, so she'll try to reconnect. Let me check and see what's going on. See if she messaged me. Nothing. So I don't know. I'm hoping that I'm really hoping that she gets a good connection. I don't really have much to talk about. I didn't check the news today. Actually I have. But it's been all war stuff. I've been. Oh, she wants to call in. Wait, I'll just call her. Oh wait, she's gonna try to. Wait, Missy, if you.
I was gonna say, do you want me to call in until I can go somewhere? I can talk to you on the phone, and I'll get in the car and go somewhere.
Just call my phone, and I'll put you on speakerphone. You have my number. Just call my phone number, and I'll put you on speakerphone.
Okay, I'll do that.
Hello.
Hey, Rob. Okay.
Okay, I have you right up to the microphone, so hopefully people can hear you.
I'm gonna get in the car and go somewhere that I can see if I can get some better connection Wi-Fi here. Okay. So anyway, where was I? I'm trying to talk about this. I think there's some important information here that people do not want me to get out, for one. So when I went, what I'm saying is Robert is more than just a haunted doll. What he represents is a collective egregore and tulpa. Okay, so what I mean by that is all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions from people since the early 1900s when he was created is what I was picking up.
Wow.
And a lot of it had to do with a lot of collective grief and sadness. Because children don't get out and play with dolls or play with homemade toys or do anything outside. They're mostly on their phone and, on the internet and stuff like that. But what Robert also showed me is that he, being created, he was a doll of Robert Eugene Otto. And the big joke was that Robert was like his friend, and if Eugene got in trouble, he would always blame Robert. He would always say, Robert did it. So Robert had this put upon him where, he was like the bad guy, the fall guy. That's why I kind of wanted to tie it in with the whole leprechaun energy for St. Patty's Day, but we didn't get the show off the ground at that time. So when Eugene Otto passed, there was so much luck surrounded around this Robert, right? Where nobody wanted him, they wanted to get rid of him, and all this kind of stuff, and just thought he was like a bad luck voodoo doll. But see, the thing is, Rob, I didn't pick up any of that. I saw the letters there, that the kids had written, and Robert had cursed them supposedly. Robert showed me it's whatever you think about something, whether it's him or anything. If you have fear or you have negative thoughts, that's what you're going to draw in. And I just kept an open mind. And to me, what he was representing was just all the projections that everyone put upon him, plus being a gatekeeper and grid keeper for that East Fort Martello Museum, which is actually at the point in Key West where the Bermuda Triangle energies of Stargate 3 and the energies of the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, Stargate 2 actually dissolve into each other.
Wow.
And what I was also sensing in Florida is that the dimensions were sort of collapsing, that there were not true dimensions. Like there's dimensions, but they're so fluid. So it's hard to even, explain what I was feeling, because I felt like I was feeling things that came into existence before time even was. So feeling the current of the Atlantic Ocean before there was this negativity of the reverse plasma that is actually in the Bermuda Triangle area, because I've always referred to that as like a scorned woman type of energy. I kind of picked that up when I went to Puerto Rico years ago. When I went down to Puerto Rico in 2013, and I went to San Cristobal, which is definitely a different type of a starport because it's like round in nature. It's even called ball. It's got the word crystals in it, right?
Yeah.
There's a point there called Margarita del Diablo, which I've talked about on the show before, which actually is what they call one of the points of the Bermuda Triangle. That off the tip of Miami somewhere, and off the tip of Bermuda makes the Bermuda Triangle. But what I was seeing is that you can't say the Bermuda Triangle begins and ends here, and you can't say, Stargate 2 begins and ends in this sort of place, and they kind of are dissolving into each other, if that makes any sense. So
it does.
It was a very fluid situation. And I'm where I'm going to try to actually call in so I can be on camera again. Let's see if this location works.
Okay. Do you want me to hang up now?
No, not yet, because I want to pull in. Now, I left my notes, but you're going to cue me on what I'm talking about. And this is not, let me get this other place here. Where was I now? So when I say that he's a tulpa, he's showing me in remote viewing things like the Industrial Revolution, and then seeing the beginning of World War I,
the beginning of World War II and all these wars. And this is before the World War III had officially, or what should I say, the war with Iran had officially broken out. That's what was so interesting about this, is that it hadn't broken out. Okay, I'm where I need to be. Let me just try to call in. Okay, I'll call you right back. Or I'll go back in the StreamYard. I don't even have to get off of here. Let me just see if you're picking me up now. Let me see if I'm connected to the Wi-Fi, first of all. I hate that this has even happened like this. I apologize, everybody. Okay. I don't know. It's not. Maybe the Wi-Fi on this island is not working today. That just happened. Oh, here we go. See if this works. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know if it's any better. See if it's any better.
Yeah, we even have questions from the audience. So yeah, we have questions from the audience. So yeah. Just hang in there, guys. We're gonna try to get this fixed. We're gonna try to. There she comes. Let's see if she's in now. Come on, give us a connection. Give us a connection.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but like it's weird. Like your screen's coming through. Like your screen's completely black. Like it's not showing your picture at all. I don't understand what's going on. Like I honestly, it's very strange. But we have a question. Like so people can. Oh wait, there you are. You popped up, but like.
Yeah. Okay, so what was the question?
The question was from Eric. He says, Missy, here, I'll even put it up on the screen if you can see the screen. He says, Missy, who made Robert the doll? When, where, what was he made of? Original owner? Has he had any repairs done, and by who? Do you know? Like,
those notes I don't have with me now, because that was so long ago that I'd have to go back and look at all that stuff. But he was made by some woman for Robert Eugene Otto as a little boy.
Yeah, I still have you on the phone, by the way. For some reason, like I can't hear you on camera, but this is good because people can see you now, but you're coming through on the audio on my phone. So I guess we'll just do it this way.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why that's happening.
It's okay.
There seems like there's a delay.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know. But this was the other thing that I thought was on Robert's birthday, his 101st birthday, he received letters from George Bush Sr. and Jeb Bush when he was governor of Florida.
Wow.
And I asked Robert what he thought of that, and he said he doesn't get into politics because that kind of bothered me. Because I was seeing Robert, when he was 122 years old.
Yeah. Wow.
And I said, all this happened before the whole Iran piece.
Yeah. Someone said it's choppy. Surfing Maui girl. Good to see you in the chat. And I see hi, Sil. Good to see you too. I have her on phone, guys, because we can't get a good connection through the internet. So this is the best way we can do it right now. I'm sorry,
I don't think I'm connected to the internet at all. This is the cell phone coverage because it's not recognizing me.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the password where I am, so I didn't want to keep trying to mess with it and you pull all these things up.
Yeah. This is good. So let's go over the hashtag. We had a lot of hashtags today to go over.
Let me talk about this. So when I went to the Keys, I saw all these roosters. And when I first ran into the first rooster, I said, oh my God, you look like Carson. Because we had a rooster named Carson. because when we lived in our house in Fletcher, North Carolina, on December 31st, 2016, this rooster showed up on our property and it started making circles around our house. And that was before going into the year of the rooster.
Wow.
And you know who looks like a rooster is DJ T. Looks like a rooster.
That's funny. Yeah, that's hilarious. That's
So then when we walked all through Key West, we saw a bunch of these blue copper Moran roosters. Okay, and I said, "Oh my God, Carson, when you left the airplane and you went to Valhalla, you incarnated into Key West as a group soul because all these roosters were there."
Yeah.
So then people lately, in the past week, started sending me things about Billy Clarkson. Before you did, and then you sent me something last night, and then you sent me that other thing today about the DOJ.
That was crazy.
Some negative things in it that I don't want to get into right now, but maybe at the end we will.
Well, I just got a question for you. Do you think that was real? Where do you think Billy Carson obtained that information from? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put that out in case. I mean, like he's saying it's from the DOJ, right? But see, that's the problem with these Epstein files. And Nathan Sizek said this. Is he said a lot of times they can put disinformation in the files to make like a honeypot, like where like people think they're gonna go get the honey, but then it's like it's misinformation. You know what I mean? So like it's like, you know, and like, you know, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm so confused, honestly, on that. You know.
The thing that was important that I gleaned from that is how young girls are targeted for modeling, take pictures of them, and they may meet somebody, and it may not be at a studio. It may be at somebody's home, you know, at that island or that movie called Blink Twice.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things to glean in that that's very important, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean, I think what the whole point is, instead of like you're right, like instead of like pointing fingers right now, what we need to do is find out how we can keep women and children safe, you know, because like there's a lot of predatory people out there that are like looking to take advantage of women, you know, and children. And that's what it seems like they're doing with this, you know, like, I don't know. Yeah. Can you see if you can turn your volume on the computer now? Like, do you think it'll work, or like, what do you, because, they're saying they're saying they're having tough, because you look like you have a good connection now. Let me see.
Yeah. Maybe I need to go back out and go back in. Let's disconnect from the phone.
Okay. Let's disconnect from the phone. Okay. All right, we're gonna try to get a computer connection, guys. What we were referring to, I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'll just tell people what we were referring to a video that Billy Carson put out, some Epstein files that the DOJ released. They were like memos, and they were pretty damning towards DJT. You know, they were really damning. So. I don't know. I don't want to point any fingers till we know. Like, I don't want to say anything bad until we know the whole truth and what's going on. You know, because like, you know, yeah. But that, stay tuned for that. Yeah. But now I can hear you, Missy. Thanks for hanging in there. And you know, it's good to see you. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if now I come through the car speaker so I can actually hear what you're saying. I don't hear you very well, but. Can you hear me now?
Wow, my light just.
Oh, this is
crazy. For no reason. Yeah, she's seeing that my light's flashing in here for no reason. Like, what is going on? Like, are you seeing that my light was going crazy in here?
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. Very strange. So anyway, I want to tie this into some other things. So. Robert the Doll, in a nutshell, Robert the Doll was more than a haunted doll. He represents the collective thoughts, feelings, and emotions of everybody that goes there and everything he's been in contact with since the early 1900s when he was created, which is like I said, like a sort of like a tulpa egregore, as well as whatever spirit was put into him from the lady that created him, and the soul of the Eugene Otto character, but more as something about holding a grid point at the East Fort Martello Museum, like he's a guardian of that place, and that's a whole other can of worms to get into the different weirdness stuff that's going on at that museum too, like about the lady that the man carried her dead body around. I mean, and all some of the weird artwork and the cigar trade and different things there. But I also wanted to get into, when you look at Key West, it looks like sort of like a dragon's tail, and this is at the end of Florida. So all these island chains have broken off from the greater part of Florida. And for some reason, when I was there, because I wanted to share this, I'm just remembering this piece, I was feeling the Coral Castle, which is in Homestead.
Yeah.
Because the East Fort Martello Museum actually has a lot of energy there. The energy didn't feel negative to me at all. It just felt, sort of dimensionless, where I was going in and out of dimensions while I was awake. I felt like I was in a liminal space between waking and sleeping in some kind of weird way. Like I'm very awake, but I'm also lucid and asleep. Also, they had like Robert the Dolls for sale, and we got this little guy.
That's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, isn't he cute? So
yeah. Oh yeah. I should have gave you some money. I should have sent you some money and had you pick me up one. If I would have known they had those, that's so cool.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll be going back. And this is a thing that I actually thought I wanted to offer, as having people go where we go to Key West and we do this research, at the East Fort Martello Museum, as well as go to Nassau and see Fort Charlotte, because I talked about that before. There's other things with Key West. I was kind of disappointed with how commercial it's become on Duval Street and things like that. I unfortunately didn't have time to go to the Hemingway house, which is the house that has the six-toed polydactyl cats. I did not have time to go there.
Yeah.
But I want to get into the cruise too, because the Margaritaville cruise, it's in the Port of Palm Beach, and that's not far from Mar-a-Lago. It has its own weird kind of script going on. The song Margaritaville, wasting away again in Margaritaville. All the things that are in that song, like the nibbling on sponge cake, of course they have the sponge cake. You're watching the sun bake. The things smell like the tanning oil or the oil. Their soap and lotions and things have that, like coconutty smell.
I love that
for
smell.
People that eat shrimp, you smell the shrimp beginning to boil. They've got the flip-flop in the song. When you come in, you can get a picture by the flip-flop. They also have the blender. There's booze in the blender. There's a picture of this giant blender, or it's like not a picture, it's a statuesque thing of this giant blender that you can go get a picture by the blender. So all these things that are in this song, this Jimmy Buffett song, and I was working at the Flagler Museum. I mean, I was dressed up as Little Jack Horner for a New Year's Eve party, and I was serving, I got paid to serve people hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that, and Jimmy Buffett happened to be there performing, so that's interesting. They also had the thing, nothing to show but this brand new tattoo, which is, there was a tattoo parlor on the ship. And I want to get into this whole thing about tattoos. Now, I'm not demonizing tattoos, saying whether they're good, bad, or whatever, but I got this whole download about tattoos and how it actually connects into the tagging of dolphins and things like that, the branding, sort of like a squid ink black goo, because this this ink is in the skin layers of the body when somebody brands themselves. It's sort of like an acupuncture thing that happens, and it connects with the tonal wave of and kind of it connects them with like a hive mind type of thing. I mean, I started seeing, and I'm not demonizing. I don't want people to think, oh, she's, this and that. But you have to look at that. I know David Wolf, if you follow David Avocado Wolf, he puts up pictures from the 70s, and he says all the time, he's always asking, what do you think about the way these people look? When you look at people from the, the 70s, the 80s, and even the 90s, why do they look so different? Well, they're not overweight, and and like these women in the 70s, they had no piercings and no tattoos, and they weren't even wearing sunglasses or hats, or probably weren't even wearing sunscreen back then. So it just makes you see how much the world has changed. So when this whole tattoo download was coming in, I was getting this whole thing about Squid Ink, Squid Games, and Cthulhu, and even before that, just the whole Margaritaville, the script, Margaritaville, the water, and then there was some other pieces that came in later, which was this woman named Ocean Ramsey who swims with sharks. Okay. Wow. And I'm going to tie all these pieces together. And then there was that story of that man that claimed that he was abducted by dolphins. Did you see that, Rob?
He was forced to build an underwater city in Florida. He said, "Yeah, I did."
And he's forced to build an underwater city in Florida. And I started having dreams of what Renetta Jones said, which was the underwater sea program. I started remembering things like when I was staying in Fort Lauderdale many years ago with a friend of mine, and staying at a hotel, and I went into some kind of lucid dream state where I saw these crystals under the water, these big magenta crystals under the water that had sound, and how you would have a mermaid tail, and then when you were there would walk, and I was like questioning, was I on some level in this underwater sea program?
It's quite a possibility, right? It's not. I wouldn't look past it at all. If you feel like you were involved in it, I would say they're more than likely you probably were to some extent. Do you remember?
One time Ron was on the beach. Ron was on the beach in Florida at the Singer Island Inlet with his son and his girlfriend's boyfriend or his daughter's boyfriend, not girlfriend, his son and his daughter's boyfriend. And there was this woman, they said, that was like, they all saw the same thing. She was wearing white, and she was like dancing and not touching the ground. And then she started to like flirt with all of them. And I was seeing her as like a siren succubus type of energy.
Yeah. Wow.
And it made me think of Ursula the Sea Witch. So this whole tattoo thing also brought in Ursula the Sea Witch in the Little Mermaid, and I was seeing like the Cthulhu. So I was seeing an 8th dimensional Squid Ink hive mind control matrix of why now people want to brand themselves with symbols and sigils on their body that goes into the skin layers. That's actually a disruption to their skin that connects to their light body. Now, it's nothing like the Jabba Wabba. That's much worse, but there's just something to the whole thing. And I'm sure Absolutely. More is going to be revealed, but it's just interesting because had there not been that tattoo parlor on the ship and I was exposed to that, I probably wouldn't have even thought of it. Now people get branded like the Lost Shaker of Salt, because that's another thing that's in the song. Lost Shaker of Salt, all these different things, whether it's a turtle or whatever it is. It's interesting.
It is.
So
how do you think? one thing you wanted to talk about was the Bermuda Triangle. I was looking at our notes here. Like, how do you think this ties into the Bermuda Triangle, and what do you think is going on there?
Well, okay, when I was when I went down to Florida last year, Mar-a-Lago, the energy that I felt there was off the chart. Like it didn't feel negative to me. It just felt heightened. It felt very electrical. And I think it's because there is a replica allegedly of the Ark of the Covenant there. And I even went down to the South Florida Fair. I didn't feel any of that this time. It was more neutral. I felt like I was tapping into a timeline in the Bermuda Triangle before it was positive or negative, where I said these energies actually of the Gulf, because it's where where I was in the Keys is where the Gulf and the Atlantic Ocean dissolve into each other. So there is no more Gulf, or because the island's so small. And I had my map I was going to show you, but I left that at where I was. Where the point that I was at the very tip of Florida, at the very bottom of what I call the dragon's tail of the United States, as far as this chain of islands. Because when you leave Miami and Homestead, I think your first one is Key Largo, you have Marathon, you have Island Murata, and then you have Key West. I'm not sure what order those are because I had the map and I was going to show you, but you can look that up. People look at a picture of the Florida Keys, and at the end, those two bodies of water, they dissolve into each other. So I felt like I was tapping into something beyond the Bermuda Triangle, which the Bermuda Triangle I actually feel is weaponized. In the recent years with the ships going down, it's kind of like a womb gate and nursery was supposed to be, and it's become a reversal Stargate. So Stargate 3 is a reversal gate. Now, Stargate 2 was not supposed to be, but because it's a dark flowering, according to at least Ashiana Dean, Eosha's newer work, and I can sort of feel that it is dark flowering in the cathedral grid. So now the Bahamas is also part of that cathedral one, because in her newer work, Eosha's newer work, she has what she talks about is the cathedral networks, which is part of the Alhambra passages. And the Alhambra, it goes beyond the physical realm here. It's the plasma. It's the plasmas. It's the internal, eternal creation realm. So it's going beyond the manifestation of this time matrix of 12D, of even 15D, and harmonic universes. It's going beyond harmonic universe 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's tapping into the eternal realms of creation. Now, some people will say, oh, well, her newer work's hijacked and they only follow the freedom teachings, the older stuff. I don't get into any of that. And the reason I don't is because I don't 100% trust any material, the Guardian material, any of it, because I think they all have their own agenda. So if it aligns with the purposes that I feel that I'm here for, I trust it. But I'm just saying I question everything. So just because it's even, I align most with the Guardian Alliance. I align most with them, but do I trust all that work 100%? No, I don't. And I think we should question everything. Don't believe it. Don't trust the plan. People are saying, trust the plan. I'm saying, well, don't believe me, but don't trust the plan. Think for yourself, do your research, feel what you can trust. Don't be, be skeptical like your typical skeptic, but be open, remain open, and do your research. So that way you can be fluid. Your belief systems can be fluid in this moment, and then they can change in the next moment when more new information is integrated. So even the Bermuda Triangle and all that stuff right now, the energies are changing. And what I was getting was some synchronicity with Greece. I was going to tell you this, and I said, do I talk about this? Now I go back to this. I had a lot of synchronicity with Greece, and I was wondering why. I was supposed to be going to North Carolina, which actually I probably am going back in a week or so because of family dynamics. I have to get up there and I have to take care of business. My friend, who you've met before on the show, Donna, was supposed to be babysitting animals, taking care of animals in Asheville, dogs, two dogs, Tango and Salsa is the dogs' names.
That's funny.
And then the trip got canceled due to this war. But it turns out that Laura Eisenhower made it to Greece, and I saw some other things with Greece online, and somebody else I follow is putting on a retreat in Paxos. So as I tuned into the aquifers and the waters in Greece, the color of the water is very similar to the picture of the water that I sent you in Key West. And I was seeing an activation going from the Bermuda Triangle all the way over to Greece, like the whole Atlantic Ocean was activated and clearing and bringing memories up. Because if everything is dissolving into each other, you know, dimensions are collapsing. That doesn't mean dimensions aren't here, but dimensions are also at times collapsing, even though they're still here. It depends on where you are in time, where your fractals are, where your hologram is in the moment. Are you in time or out of it? Yeah. And sometimes when you're in these waterways that are very fluid, because that's where the healing is, that's where the memory is in the water, you can be out of time. Now, the other piece, I'm going to speak to this to Eric because I'm connecting with Eric right now. He brought up Maryland. Now, that cruise goes out of Maryland to Greenville on, and I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this, but I guess I am. I really feel called to go to Greenland on the Carnival cruise that goes to Karkatok and Nanatorlik or something. Not, I can't even say that, but one of them's Karkatok, but it's spelled with a Q. Okay, and the ice has memory. There's something about the ice. The ice wall, the icebergs, all that has memory. That's very important. So I feel that whole area is, and even whether you trust DJT or you don't, or the Guardian Alliance and you don't, I do feel that that's to our benefit. The whole Greenland thing, there is a piece with Greenland, with North Pole, corrections with Polaris, corrections with Hyperborean timelines, and I have seen the Northern Lights a lot. The Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis, they talk to me. The plasma beings are a consciousness. They talk to me. They tell me when they are out and to photograph them, which I've been doing. I get pictures of the auroras even in South Carolina, which is nice. Weird, but that has something to do with the solar, I don't know, ask Raw Castaldo the names of what these things are called. I had them written down, solar minimum, maximum, all that stuff, which brings me up to crystal skulls. I want to talk about that because that conference in Sedona, I don't want to get into that conference, but Bill Holman is going to be there with the Mitchell Hedges skull. And I know you had a session with the Mitchell Hedges skull, and I've not personally met the Mitchell Hedges skull, but I have etherically met the Mitchell Hedges skull. I've had my friend Joshua Shapiro and his beloved Katrina that has passed on. She had a special connection with the Mitchell Hedges skull, and it renamed itself Estrella, for her, a feminine, divine feminine name, which means hope and compassion and like connecting with the higher self timelines. It's interesting that they got a replica of that skull in rose quartz, and it even has the detachable jaw. I also know another person, Christopher Timms, who knew Anna Mitchell Hedges when she was older before she passed. So he was in contact with that skull all the time. Wow. And the reason I bring up the whole skull thing is because as I was tapping into it and feeling my skulls, who I'll share sometimes, Shambhala and Jerusalem and some of the other ones that have actually been in contact with Max, the crystal skull, a few times when Joanne Parks was the guardian. I don't know if she still is. One time we happened to see Max on her way back from Illinois. My husband's mother used to live there. And at that time we went to Southern Illinois. So we went to the area that David Hatcher Childress talks about, which is Little Egypt, and there's mounds there. And when we came back, we went to a place called the Lost Sea, which is a beautiful aquifer in Tennessee, which is America's largest underground lake, which also has that fresh water. And where does that fresh water go? It dissolves into the Gulf of America, Mexico.
Wow.
And it's very close to the Dragon's Tail that motorcycles drive on. So I'm weaving back around to the waters, and it's crystalline water. So I don't know. Have you ever met Max?
I've never met Max, the crystal skull. I've just had a session with the Mitchell Hedges skull. It's definitely powerful. It's definitely like it talked to me, and it's not just that, but it will send energy to your body and it'll heal your body. It'll pinpoint areas where it feels like you need help. It can read you. It's absolutely alive. You know what I mean? It's very strange. Like it has a consciousness, there's some kind of consciousness embedded within that crystal skull. It's weird, but it's
there cool. Definitely is. I remember one time when we first got Shambhala, Ron had watched something with Shambhala to do with the Mayans or something. I think he watched it on and I actually picked up the whole thing and it was like watching a movie inside the crystal skull's head.
Wow. That's insane. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Some of the other ones I met was I met Shana Ra. Now that one had, I thought, like some kind of reversal weirdness going on. That one was owned by Nick Nasserino, who's also passed on.
Yeah. What I've wondered is why didn't they ever try to unite all the skulls to bring them all together?
There was so much drama in that crystal skull community where the gatekeepers and the ones that own the crystal skulls, they're so possessive of their skull that they don't want them around the other ones. And especially they don't want them on what they call the new skulls, which are the ones that are carved that you can just buy, which will collect the information from these older skulls. Yeah. I don't know. It's just very strange.
I think they should try to unite the skulls, I think it would do something. Yeah. Can you imagine uniting the skulls and then having an event where people could just meditate over them? That would be amazing. That'd be that'd be something next level. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Where we're going to go next? So the hashtags are paranormal, UFO Twitter, high strangeness, disclosure, Stargates. I guess we kind of went into Stargates a little bit. You talked about Stargate 2 and Stargate 3, ley lines, Earth grid, gridworker, frequency war. We are in wartime, or we are. Yeah, I think that was one of them. Question everything. Discernment is needed. Wherever you want to go next. What do you think?
What are people saying in the chat? Is anybody saying anything? I apologize again for this connection. I had this whole thing planned where I was going to show everything camping out, but it's like there's some kind of weird frequency in the air that it's just nothing's coming in good.
Chili Man's in the audience. He says the skull is a real skull, but crystalline being. Mud fossil has done good work. It's a real brain with all structure, not carved, he said. Yeah. The Mitchell skull crystal is there is definitely something real in it. I would agree with that. It's definitely some kind of it's definitely next level. As far as absolutely.
Well,
put your question
like those Easter Island heads. Remember those heads where those were living beings that stepped off the ship, and there they are. I mean, you can question whether that story is true, but it's interesting. And the skull's sort of the same thing. It's almost like in the Indiana Jones movie, right? In the Temple of Doom, I think is what's the one with the crystal skulls? I can't remember the name of it.
Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
That's right. Where the heads are separate from the body, and they have to unite the body with the head. There's something about that whole piece.
It's almost like Spielberg knew something. You know what I mean? It's weird. He seems to be keyed in on like events of stuff. You know, like his new movie Disclosure Day. You know, that's going to be an interesting. You know, like regardless of whatever people think about him, he does have information. It seems like. You know, I would say so for sure. You know,
yeah, we have to figure out how are they getting the information. These people.
Exactly.
That's what we want to know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Where's the information coming from?
Yeah. If you guys have any questions,
Robert's message is to be fearless. Because if you're afraid, you will manifest negativity. I mean, I should have taken a full-on picture, but I second-guessed myself. I was trying to be respectful, and I was getting that if I had taken a full-on picture, you know, I was trying to be respectful of his space, right? He's a doll, I know, but I was being respectful of the spirit space. But because of the work that I'm there to do, my reason for taking a picture of him is not like this ego gratification about, you know, like, oh, I got a picture of Robert and this and that. Not about that.
Yeah.
Robert is just like a representation. You know, it's not even about Robert. It's just Robert is holding a frequency. The frequency that people think Robert is holding, it depends on what your frequency is how Robert's going to match that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's just like it's like a multi-dimensional holographic mirror in a way of, you know, timeline. A timeline mirror of, like I said, World War I, World War II, the Industrial Revolution. And I started to feel sad because I saw that America, it was at its height in the 1900s, and we're on the other side of that now. We're not at our height as a country. That was, I mean, I know that, but to see that, feel that in every fiber of my being, that was kind of like very sad.
Yeah, it's almost like we're a falling empire. Yeah, it's almost like we're a falling empire. It's scary, you know. It really is. Like, especially with some of the choices our government makes. You know, it's I don't know. You know, it's
and that made Robert sad because not because Robert's sad, because Robert's a doll, but Robert's sad because people subconsciously are sad about that. So that is reflecting the subconscious, at least to me. I'm seeing it.
So Robert basically
collective.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead and say what you were going to say, Rob, because maybe you're clarifying what I'm saying it a different way.
Robert holds the collective memory of like this country, I guess, you know, or wherever he's been, like, you know, it's like, or something like that, right? Or like he holds the collective memory of, like, it's pretty amazing.
For the past 122 years.
Wow. Holy shit. That's amazing. Like, that is, I mean, he kind of looks a little scary, but like, you know, at the same time, like he looks interesting. I'll say to say the least. He definitely looks interesting. You know,
I could almost feel like a breathing. I could almost feel like it was breathing in a way. I felt that with wax figures too. I've been to the Samuel Clemens and Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer. Can't think of what's the name. What's the actual
Oh,
penman's name?
Oh, I can't remember who wrote that.
Sam Clemens is his real name, but I can't think of what his pen name was of Huck Finn. And that's in what is the name of the town in Illinois? God. Well, I went to that museum and it was that was a creepy museum and weird.
Mark Twain it was.
Mark Twain. Yeah, where is Mark Twain from? What city in Illinois?
I'll look him up. I'll look it up. Mark Twain.
That it's not there anymore, but when we went, it was really interesting.
Mark Twain is from Florida,
and Missouri. They had a haunt, and it stormed. It was like all of a sudden it stormed, and we finished. But I felt like these wax figures died because people look at these wax figures. I also felt that when I went to Elf Place, when I went to in Iceland, this whole aggro thing because of people expecting to feel else's spirit there.
Yeah. You were cutting out big time there, Missy. You it's just like it totally cut out.
I know I was, and I'm going to see if I can. Let's see if.
No, she completely cut out, guys. Let's see. We'll wait to see if she comes back. She should come back,
Is it better or worse?
It's better now. Now it's much better. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's now I'm actually connected to the internet. So the internet was out. Now I'm connected.
Wow, that's awesome.
I hope that's a lot better.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. It is. It's a lot better. Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think of where did we want to go next? Like,
I just want to ask you, this is off the, nothing to do with anything, but what is your weather? The pollen count is super, almost like 11 point something. It's the worst pollen on record. Even Arthur is sneezing.
Wow. I mean, our weather isn't bad. It's just, it is what it is. It's not, I don't know. It's been weird, to be honest with you. Like one day it's really cold and then one day it's hot, and it doesn't make sense at all. It's like that get sick weather, because what happens is you go outside in the nice weather, then the next day it's freezing cold. You don't know what to wear. You know what I mean? It's like a guessing game every day. It's really bizarre, to be honest with you.
What's really weird is in North Carolina, it was hotter than South Carolina. It's been in the 80s and stuff. It's been super weird there.
Wow. Jeez, oh man. Like, I wonder what the hell's going on. What do you think's going on? Do you think it's geoengineering, or what do you think is up with the weather?
Well, I think it's definitely geoengineering, and they've messed with it so much it doesn't know what to do now. Things don't know whether to bloom or not bloom, so, it already screwed up the blooming cycle once, where things started to bloom back in January, and now I'm getting hot where I am, so I need to get this window open. So hold on a second here. I hope this doesn't screw things up, me just trying to do this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I get some fresh air in here. So I don't know. I just think we're in all kinds of wild card energies on every level.
I would absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
Wild card, anomalies as far as the energies, as far as dimensional shifts. Because Florida definitely feels different as far as the energies. It's very interesting. At least down in the Keys it does.
Yeah.
But I was tired after that trip. I mean, it was like, we kind of got a bug and neither one of us felt so wonderful. And, it's just strange.
Yeah.
Strange stuff going on for sure.
Absolutely. It is weird. I wonder why. Yeah. I wonder what the hell's going on. Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's really bizarre. Guys, if you have anything if you have any comments in the chat, let us know. If you have any questions, let us know. We still have some time. My next show isn't for 50 minutes, so we definitely have time. Yeah. Let me see here. I was looking at it's the 2 Stellar Stars says they're cutting down all the important trees to protect us from heavy pollen. She says,
I agree with that. Well, they've already terrain modified the planet a lot with cutting down the big trees and different things like that.
Yeah. It's let's see. Andres Delgado, Chili Man, says food warfare. It's like they're doing food warfare too. Yeah.
One thing I know. So with this stuff that's going on with the DOJ and what we heard with the Billy Carson stuff that I really don't want to get into and know whether it's true or not. But with this war going on, it could be a big distraction so we can't find out what's going on because of this war. Then I actually heard somebody tell me, oh, maybe this war was going to stop, but that's not true.
It's crazy.
Oh, the other one is, do you think Satan Yahoo is dead or alive?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. That's a good question, right? Like that's something that I've been trying to figure out. Like, I don't know, honestly. Like, I don't know. I mean, like he's I don't know how he popped up at a coffee shop in Jerusalem, like with no protection, he's got a lot of balls, but no, it's crazy. Like, I'll just tell you how bad the people do not like Israel. It's like when people found out that he had, that he was unalived or potentially, people were on Twitter saying, pop your champagne bottles and stuff like that. People were like ecstatic over this. You know what I mean? Like, people do not like support. It's like people support the United States, but they don't want to support Israel. Like, I don't know. Like,
well, people are waking up to the fact that we should have never ever had been involved in this.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. And even DJT said something alluded to, because they're involved in it, we're getting involved in it. I don't want to get even too involved in the conversation, but I think the Yahoo thing is sort of like the Osama bin Laden thing, where we couldn't figure out if he was dead or alive. If they buried him at sea, it's that whole thing, some kind of distraction again.
It's always like a distraction to dissuade you from something else. Like, every time they want us to dissuade us from something, they'll put out a distraction. One distraction covers up something else, and then once people start finding out that, they put out another distraction. It's like constant misnomers to get us like all worked up and stuff. That's why, like I said, I don't even, at this point, I'm just like, it's like, what is going on here? Like, it's really insane. And
the whole clone thing, because I don't even know if we got into the whole Jim Carrey clone thing, because all that went on when I was down in Florida too, and on the cruises and stuff.
I've been talking about that a lot. I've been talking about it most especially. I've been talking about it with Pink Bella when she comes on. And I've been also talking about it with Matthew Mornian. And me and Pink Bella had some theories. We thought it was clone, but then last night Matthew Mornian was on, and he said that where we played a Twitter video where they were saying that it could be some kind of soul transference, but what's weird is that like Jim Carrey does not look like himself. He's not acting like himself. Like, before he was like really spiritually aware and he knew all this stuff, and like now it's like he's like a zombie. He doesn't even look like himself. He looks.
Oh, here's a piece I wanted to bring up that Billy Carson brought up. He talked about the angel trumpet, which is a plant that makes people go, like a zombie, unaware. And here's what I wanted to say. Yeah, there's a story I want to tell about the Fahey Castle, but there's a few things I wanted to bring in. Now, this is circling back around. So the angel trumpet, first of all, in the Bible, it's the angels that deliver the trumpet messages in Revelation. We have the last trump, the thing about biblical revelation, the sound of the last trump, as well as Trump. And Iyasha talks about the trumpet pulses. So there's that whole thing. Jim Carrey also, you have to remember the movies that he was in. He was in The Truman Show, right? The Grinch, of course, but The Truman Show, and he actually played Biden. I sent you a video, and I'm going to come back around to the Fahey cast, so I want to tell that story, but I want to go here first. So I sent you a video when I was down in Florida, and we were talking about doing a show when I was down there because I wanted to do it from those grids down there, but you were too busy and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And what it was about is somebody that has claimed to be JFK Jr., and it's not the one that's in a fat suit that Carrie Cassidy talks about. It's somebody else. I don't know if you watched that video, but what was interesting about that video, whether it's true or not, talking about the handlers and the families that he was with. I can't remember the name of that family, and the the assassination of Onassis and of Jackie Onassis.
Wow.
Did you watch this video?
I don't think I watched. I don't think I watched it. But you can tell us about it. I mean, maybe I can play. Is it in? Let me see. I don't want to go back in too much into our chat. Like
it's way back. And my one friend that sent me this said maybe this is the real guy, not the one that we've been looking at. That's telling more of the stories of what they do with the abuse part of things. Like this guy was highly abused. Now,
John F. Kennedy Jr. stolen identity. Is that it?
Yes, that's it.
Wow. I wonder if I could play it. Like I don't want to. It's on a YouTube, so I don't want to get a copyright.
Yeah, that's something to talk about another time. I want you to watch that because then you sent me another video of somebody, I'm not going to say who it is, with the whole trust the plan narrative about all these people that are really trusting the plan, hook, line, and sinker. And should they be? I'm just going to leave it at that. But when Billy Carson brought up this Blink Twice movie, it made me think of a story years ago because I used to go to a place called, and I don't know if I've told this before or not, but I'm sure many people have not heard it. There is a place called Devil's Courthouse on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And it's, you can hike to the top of it. It's past the Pisgah Inn, going west on the parkway, which is actually south, where if you go east on the parkway towards Mount Mitchell, that's actually north. So, going up here years ago, I remember they say if you go off the trail, there's like a $5,000 fine. There's a place in Cullowhee, North Carolina called Judaculla Rock, which has petroglyphs. And when you go to the Judaculla Rock, there actually is a tone frequency where if you clap in a certain way, it echoes, and it has a frequency. Now, people have tried to deface those petroglyphs, unfortunately. You can also hike to the base of Devil's Courthouse, which is in the Pisgah Forest, which we have actually done. One time we started hiking, we went the wrong way, felt this weird frequency. It was going towards Perry, which is the Pisgah Astronomical Research Institute, which is interesting because James Redfield in his book, The 10th Insight, talks about some kind of weird frequency going on in Western North Carolina. And that's the place that has the radio telescopes that has UFO activity and probably has been spoken about in Sky Ships Over Cashiers by Mary Joyce. We found $17 on the ground. Going the other way, we hiked to the water, and I got these weird pictures holding the crystal skulls up to my eyes. I had like white out in my eyes, like my eyes were just gone. There was something weird with my eyes with the pictures that we took. And I heard this weird like going into another dimension, hearing Indian war dance type of thing, where Tasali and his men were, Tasali is one of the Native Americans that was Cherokee that was not liked by, Andrew Jackson was doing the Cherokee removal. Well, he was hiding out in the woods there. And I was seeing, this was when they were doing the thumping under the ground, when I think they were building those tunnels. And something about the thumping opened the dimension. Well, I was able to view other timelines, and I was scared to death. And then there was this Judicula. Judicula is a giant. So they say that the legend allegedly is that Judicula had maidens dance for him.
Wow.
He's a giant. Is he like a Nephilim? Now, I heard another story many years ago through somebody that I've talked about before. I'm not going to mention who, about this castle that is called the Fahey Estate. Now, remember, there's the Biltmore Estate in the in Asheville, and at the time when the Biltmore was built, the first forestry school was started in the United States by a German man named Robert Schenck. And I've actually been to when they put their, they've had their little Halloween thing where they have their reenactments, and they, show the forestry school and put the pumpkins. And there was this whole thing about this one guy that was in love with this girl and, ran off with her. And the father was upset and was going to kill the guy and all this stuff, or unalive him. Maybe I shouldn't use those words. It was just kind of a fun thing that you do, but I'll just give you an example. When from the Biltmore Estate to ride into the Pisgah Forest on horseback, it was about a 7 or 8 hour trip on horseback to go into the Biltmore. Now, allegedly, there was another castle built in the Pisgah Forest, not far off of 215, supposedly, which is not far from some other roads like 276 and the Blue Ridge Parkway, where the Pisgah Inn is. There was a guy that when he was young was repentant, became a Christian, said that he happened to allegedly meet somebody in Biltmore Forest that he worked for, like did yard work, and became friends with this guy. And the guy said, well, if you clean up, I can take you to this party. You have to have a suit. You have to have your hair cut. You have to be cleaned up, but you have to be blindfolded to be taken to this castle in the middle of nowhere. And it's all this elite stuff that happens there, like in the Epstein files.
Oh,
it's
God.
all now that I go back, I heard this story many years ago. I mean, 2009, I heard the story, and I still remember. I may not have every detail right, because the whisper down the lane thing, the story could change slightly. But basically, in the beginning of the story, it's all these politicians and high up people, and you know, with the catering, and everybody's dressed up with the food and drinks, kind of like in the beginning, all those girls are going and not remembering what happens next. And then it's later on, it becomes, maybe it's days later, the drugs, the orgies, the whole things, to seeing women chained up that are supposedly going to be carried off to this Judicula. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Whoa, holy
Hearing
shit.
this kind of weird story reminds me of that Epstein stuff.
So is there something like satanic going on there, would you say? Is it this Judicula, or like, and is it, but are they reversing the energy? Because it sounds like it would be like a peaceful place or something. But they're using
it is, purposes. But we don't know what Judicula was, Yeah, I'm not saying Judicula was good or bad. I'm not saying the petroglyphs are bad, but I'm saying there's bad things that people do in the mountains.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I can tell you that Perry is an outcropping from, World War II, or from the Cold War. The radio telescopes and stuff like that, and there's tunnels there. I was in one of their tunnels. Wow. I actually took a tour of one underground tunnel.
Holy shit! Yeah.
And there's underground bases in Western North Carolina. There are underground bases there.
Yeah, Mary Joyce found them. She hasn't been spying it. She absolutely, she wrote a book on it. Yeah, like, yeah, I mean, so, yeah, I absolutely believe you. Yeah, like, yeah, that's well, this was a good show. Is there anything else you want to cover before we finish up, Missy? And like, this was great.
That's probably it. Next time I'm going to make sure I have a better connection, but I might be back in Western North Carolina next time we do a show anyway. I'm probably going to be there, so it might be a while, and I'll try to, bring back some of these things back around, because I probably only touched the surface on all these pieces, unless there's questions that people want to ask me. I'm just going to say right now, stay open, keep an open mind, because everything is so weird. Don't believe anything 100%, just be fluid, trust your intuition, and be prepared. You had to talk with somebody the other day that, it's good to be like a Girl Scout or Boy Scout and be a little bit prepared with stuff that's going on, because we could have some disruption. I don't get into the fear mode, but I'm into the preparedness mode where, if we have disruption, that's not fun, but you want to be prepared for that too.
Absolutely, because we never know when they can pull like a false flag, or there could be a real sleeper cell attack. We got to be prepared, have some food and water, and make sure everything's make sure you at least have something to sustain you for in case like you get a power outage for 3 days. Like I buy these. Like I wanted to show you guys these. This is great. These are great to have. Like this is like you can get these at Walmart. It's a phone charger. You just open it up, and mine's for an Android, and you just rip this pack open, and then you plug it right into your phone, and it'll give you about a day's worth of charge. These are $5, but they're great to have because these will keep you online if you have a power outage. I keep these around. I have like 3 of these laying around, because like just in case, like you never know, like you never know, especially now with like times that are.
Well, we have a generator with propane. You can get some marine batteries. That'll charge all your stuff too. That's a good idea. But have people noticed that gas prices have gone up again, anywhere from 30 to 50 cents a gallon?
Yeah, they were. My friend sent me a text. There were $6 a gallon in California.
Of course,
they're close to like 5 here. It's insane. I guess the oil market's closed on the weekend, so that's why they're going to change now, because we started a new week and the oil prices fluctuating. Here's one thing that people don't understand: that Strait of Hormuz absolutely affects. They're saying that only 20% of the world's oil comes from there. It doesn't matter, because what happens is the world. My friend was explaining this to me. The world's oil is all based off one price. So no matter what happens, it's going to be affected. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if it's only 20%. It's because it'll affect the general price of like OPEC, who controls the oil.
That's right.
Price, so it's like, so it's definitely scary. Like, we need to get whatever's going on there under control, because that could have a huge effect. Eric said, "What time's the next show?" It's in a half hour, Eric. So I'll
let you go. So you get a nice little break, Rob. This way you get a break. Make sure you're well hydrated and stuff. And let's catch up again really soon, okay?
Yeah, I ordered some food. I'm trying to get in shape, but I ordered some food. I was looking at my phone. I was seeing when he's gonna be here. But yeah, so I'm gonna eat some food here, and then hopefully the guy gets here before my next show, and and I'll be seeing everybody. Oh yeah, do you want to tell everybody how they can follow you, Missy?
Yeah. You can email me Hill HILL Night NITE Vision VISION hillnightvision@gmail.com. Go ahead and friend me on Facebook, friend me on Instagram, on X, and I'm doing sessions, readings. Whatever people just find me. I don't really promote myself. If you connect with me, you do. And if you don't, you don't. And that's the way it goes. And give Rob some donations. He buy him a coffee, whatever app, Cash App, Venmo. I don't know which ones you have. So just give Rob some money for this. Keep him going.
Thanks, Missy. I always enjoy having you on, and stay safe in your travels, and have fun with your camp. You're camping out tonight, right?
Yep.
That's
camping
awesome.
out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah,
Okay.
and thank you so much, Missy, for coming on. I'll see you guys all in 30 minutes on a different link, and we'll have
Love
Gregor
y'all.
read on
Bye.
that. All right, good night, everybody. I'll see you guys later. Thanks.